Bradford Grid was set up 6, 7, 8 years ago. The idea was to try and sort of get a group of photographers together who would normally be working independently.
The aim was to kind of document Bradford. We started off as a relatively small group, still a small group now, and we took the Ordnance Survey map of Bradford and chopped it up into mile section squares, and then from that the squares were given out at meetings, and the photographers would go out and photograph with any approach, any style that they wanted to photograph Bradford.
So everyone strays and all the rules get broken, but I think that adds to the sort of diversity of ideas, and there's a certain amount of kind of charm attached to that, because it allows for a little bit of human sort of personality to show through.
This project I started in 2008, and I've been documenting, photographing a more kind of topographical view of Bradford using Lister's Mill chimney as a reference point, so I can work wherever I see the chimney in Bradford. I can reference it, so I get many aspects, many views of the landscape of Bradford, because the landscape of Bradford is very diverse, and I wanted to reflect this. I was able to do that by having a repeat in every picture, evidence of the mill, evidence of Bradford's past, and that Italianate wonderful chimney that is there so prominent in the landscape. It's just a great reference point.
My series of photographs are a series of bowls clubhouses and a couple of photographs showing people playing. And of course, while doing that, I started to meet the people who actually play bowls. And so there are a couple of photographs that just give that sense of people actually on the green in some form of competition. And I could see that through the general sort of banter and conversation between the people, that there was a real sort of gathering together. It was a really nice, really worthwhile project. We decided that we would do a series of pictures influenced by previously taken work. How do we read images? Obviously we read them in one particular way close to the time when we've made them, but then 10, 20, 30 years down the road, how do we then review those pictures?
The theme of the Evidence for the Ways of Looking Festival was important to me on a personal level in terms of my family, because my family had worked at Lister's Mill. My great-great-granddad, he started working there when he was 11, and then there's other members of the family that have worked within the textile industry in Bradford, that came down from Scotland to be in Bradford or from the northeast. I
think Bradford is an interesting city because it's very hard to really tie down exactly what its identity is. It's a city that's been trying to reinvent itself over and over again since the sort of demise of the traditional wool industry, really. And we're sort of continually meeting people in Bradford and talking to them about the project, and we always come back to the basic question, well, what is Bradford? Where is it headed? And things like that. And no one seems to be able to answer that question.